What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be giving each first round picks 1 through 31, a grade A through F. Each individual pick will be graded on a scale of value and how good the player is at that point in the first round, with every team's first round pick. First up, we're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers, who had the first pick, and they selected the quarterback from Alabama, Bryce Young, who is safe pick. I think I'd give it a B+. I would give it an A-, but I have to factor in a little bit of what they had to give up to get him. I personally like C.J. Stroud a little bit better than Bryce Young, who at number 2 went, but I do like the pick of Bryce Young at number 1 overall. Give it a B+. Next up, we're talking about the Houston Texans at pick 2 and 3. They got quarterback from the Ohio State University, C.J. Stroud, and then at number 3 they got Will Anderson when they traded up. I'll give the C.J. Stroud pick an A. I think he's the best quarterback in this class. I really like the value. I just think he's a really good natural passer, good distributor, and he showed a lot of grit against Alabama. I think he's just a really good player. He's going to be a really good player at the college level. Next up, Will Anderson. I think he's going to be a very good player. I gave Stroud A. I'm only going to give this one about B though, because I'm going to factor in the trade. They gave up an extra first and more to get trading the 12th pick. I think they may have overpaid, Will Anderson at number 3 is another building block for them to build their defense, to get the keystone to their offense and the cornerstone of their defense with their first 2 picks of their draft at 2 and 3. Next up, at number 4, the Indianapolis Colts selected Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida. I'm going to give this one a B+. I think this is pretty good value. Well, I feel like the value might have been a bit here at 4. I feel like the Colts getting themselves their franchise quarterback, well, also getting somebody who has all the upside in the world, or number 4, could be a good thing for them. Now, do I agree with him being the starter right away? I don't think, but I think it's a good thing that they drafted Richardson, because I believe he's the 3rd best quarterback in this draft. Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks selected Devon Witherspoon. I'm gonna give this a C+. I did not love this move by the Seahawks because they had bigger needs at positions like edge and defensive tackle, where there was still very high caliber players available, such as Tyree Wilson and Jalen Carter. They decided to go with Devon Witherspoon, which he's a great player, don't get me wrong. I just don't like the value, and I don't think he was their biggest positional need at number 5. I don't hate it, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot better at the same exact time, which is why I give it a C+. Number 6, the Arizona Cardinals traded back up at number 6, and they selected offensive tackle from Ohio State, Paris Johnson. Now, I'd give this one a solid B, because I feel like B or B+, in between kind of area, because I feel like he definitely needed an offensive tackle to protect Kyler Murray. I feel like he was probably a top 2 offensive tackle in this draft. Him and Darnell Wright are up there, who we'll talk about later. I think he's probably Yeah, he's really good. I think that Cardinals got a really good player, but I feel like I don't know if they really needed to trade up to 6 from 12 to get him. I feel like they could have maybe gotten him if they would have maybe traded up to 10, or maybe traded up, I don't know, a couple spots higher than number 6, or a couple of spots lower, excuse me. But I think that he's a good player and he should fit pretty well. At number 7, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tyree Wilson. I'll give this one an A minus because the value is very good. The value is very, very good at number 7. But I mean, they have 2 really good edge rushers already, Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. Adding a third one is, I mean, they have some threats there. Now, I'm not sure what's up with Tyree Wilson's injury status, which is why it makes it a little bit more formidable here at number 7. I like the pick. I don't love it, so I'm going to give it a solid B+, A- ish. At number 8, the Atlanta Falcons took Bijan Robinson. I'm giving this one a C-. I might be hating a little bit heavily, but the Falcons needed much more than a running back. They had Tyler Algier, he's good. He may not be your guy for the next 5 years, which is how long you're looking at for a running back as far as time window. But if you're looking at value and positional need isn't really there. He's a great player. I don't think he was the greatest value at number 8, and I don't think that it made very much sense at number 8 either. I think that they probably should have went either corner or they should have went offensive line at number 8 rather than going running back. At number 9, the Eagles traded up with the Chicago Bears, giving up a 4th rounder. They secured the selection of Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. And look, he's a heck of a player. We all know how good of a talent Jalen Carter is at the defensive tackle position, and how well he'll fit in with the Eagles' defense. Problem is, he may very well just ruin his career because of off-the-field issues. He has a lot of off-the-field concerns. He's done numerous wrongdoings. He had a terrible pro day, but he's still very talented, has a lot of upside, and I do like the pick, so I'm going to give it a solid A. Not quite A+, but it's a really good pick by the Eagles at number 9. At number 10, the Chicago Bears took Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle from Tennessee, who gave up 0 sacks last season. He is as sure as it gets in this draft for offensive tackles. He is great pass blocker, good in the run game. I think he's underrated. He should have got a lot more love going into the draft. I like the pick. I'll give it an A-. At number 11, the Tennessee Titans selected Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle from Northwestern. So I'm going to give this one, a solid B+. Look, he's probably the most technically sound offensive lineman in the draft. He's shown a lot. I have 2 concerns with him. One, I'm not sure if is he a guard, is he a tackle? I think he's more of a guard in the NFL. 2, I just don't see him getting much better than where he was at college. His upside isn't much higher than where it is right now. He's good. I don't think he's going to be anything more than what he's already shown to on the tape already. So I'll give it a B+, but I think there could have been better picks. There could have been 1 or 2 better picks, I would say, at number 11. But it's a solid pick. I'll give it a B+. At number 12, the Detroit Lions, after trading down from number 6, took Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back from Alabama. Great player. He's a good player. He's a solid player. Good running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Problem is, his value is much too rich at number 12, which is why I give it a not so solid D+. This might have been this is one of the worst picks out of this draft. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. The Lions didn't need a running back as much as other positions. They could have got him at 18. They could have traded back and getting him in the late first round. I don't think that they really. I don't see it. I mean, like, you could have had him later. There were better players with more positional need that you could have had, which is why I just have to give it a bad D+. At 13, number 13, the Packers have this pick, and they took Lucas Van Ness, the edge rusher from Iowa, who criminally did not start last season, even though he put up really good numbers for Iowa. What do you guys think of that? That's something, isn't it? But anyways, I'm gonna give this pick I'll give it a B-. I think the Packers probably needed things more than edge, but I don't hate the pick. You can never have too much depth at edge, and Van Ness is a good player, and he should fit pretty well with their defense. At 14, the Steelers took Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle out of Georgia, who is the most high upside boomer bust offensive tackle in this draft. I'm giving this one, I'm going to give it a B+. I'm in between the B+ and A- range on this one, but I'll lean a B+ for this one. I think he's got a really good chance to be a good pro in the NFL, but he also has a very good chance to be disappointing in the NFL. So I like the value because I feel like there could have been worse picks, which is why I give it a B+. At number 15, the Jets took Will McDonald, who value is not the best word to say this, where I give it a C-. He's a good player. I had a second round. I think he was probably an early second rounder, maybe even a mid-second round pick. I didn't really like the value. Definitely a Robert Saleh pick. He definitely was influencing in this pick. Jets have built a good defense, and depth at edge is never a bad thing. So it could be it could be worse. But I don't see how much it could be. How much better it could be also be much better. I feel like there could have been a lot more ways that would have been probably more better value and a better pick at number 15. At number 16, the Commanders took cornerback from Mississippi State, Emmanuel Forbes. I give this one a solid B. Value wasn't great, but there was a lot of these picks in the first round. I feel like it was probably something that they needed to do, is to get another corner. And I feel like he's probably one of the best available. I probably would have leaned with Joey Porter Jr., but Emmanuel Forbes is a good player, and I don't hate the pick. I don't love it, but I do like it, so I'll give it a solid B. Number 17, the Patriots got Christian Gonzalez, the corner from Oregon. I like this pick. I'll give it a solid A-. Probably in between that. He's a good player. He's a very good player. I like the value. They needed a corner. Not as much as other positions, but the value here was to take the decision here was to take the best player available, and that was Christian Gonzalez. So I like the pick a lot here at number 17. Now here's one I do not like the most, which was Jack Campbell going to 18 to the Lions. I think there was a better linebacker in Drew Sanders on the board, first off. Who I don't even think he was going to go in the first round, quite honestly. Jack Campbell was probably a mid-second rounder. I mean, at best. Him going mid in the first round is a crime, which is why this gives a D. And it's just a bad pick. I don't understand what the Lions were thinking here. He wasn't really the best at any one area at linebacker, and so he's a good linebacker, but he's just not good value. He's a good player, I guess, but there's a lot of good players in the NFL, so I'm not impressed. It's only a D for me. The Buccaneers took Kalijah Kancey at number 19. I like this pick a bit more than the last, for sure. I'll give it a B+ for Tampa Bay. I think that they definitely made the right pick. They're building their defense up, and I like it because once you build your team up and then you get the quarterback you need, you're really setting him up to succeed. I don't think Baker Mayfield's that guy. Who knows? Maybe he is. I don't think Kyle Trask is. Same thing with him, maybe. But I think Jackson Smith-Njigba went number 20 to the Seattle Seahawks. I gotta give this one an A. I love the pick. They're really putting all the pieces around Geno Smith. He's only gonna get better with all these pieces that keep getting added. I love the pick. I think it's great value at 20. I could have seen him going in the early teens. The 11 to 18 range. Probably would have seen him going, but I love the pick at number 20. I love it. I gotta give it an A for the Seattle Seahawks at number 20. At number 21, the Los Angeles Chargers took Quentin Johnston, a receiver from TCU. Johnston was a very difficult player to figure out. I had trouble figuring out, is he really as good as people were saying? Early on, they were saying he was the best receiver in the draft. You may not believe me or not, but all along I've had Jackson Smith-Njigba as my top receiver. You can ask all people I know, I talk to, they'll say the exact same thing. He's just very talented, but Quentin Johnston's good. I don't think he's the number 2 receiver in this draft. I think he's probably realistically 3rd or 4th. But I think it's a solid pick. I think the Chargers, they needed one more receiver. I think I would have went a different direction. I would have went like a Zay Flowers probably. But since they filled a positional need, I'll have to give it a solid grade. I have to give it a solid B. At number 22, the Baltimore Ravens took Zay Flowers, the receiver from Boston College. I like this pick better than the last one. I like it a lot. The Ravens are helping Lamar Jackson for the first time in the last 5 years. I like it. I like to see it. I want to see Lamar succeed. He deserves it very much. I like what they're doing in Baltimore, but I want to see more from their defense next year. They were very inconsistent on that side of the ball, and while they're good creating turnovers, they're inconsistent. So I like the pick a lot. I give it a B+. But I expect them to do some more with the defense in the future. At number 23, the Minnesota Vikings took the receiver from USC, Jordan Addison. I like this pick too. I'd probably give it the same B+ grade as the last one. The Vikings need another receiver after Justin Jefferson. This is probably the best guy available, and in fact, I personally believe it was. Great player. You're getting in Jordan Addison. He's former Biletnikoff Award winner. He's proven it with multiple quarterbacks that he can do well. He made other quarterbacks look better in college, He's got all the tools. I like him a lot at number 23. The New York Giants selected Deonte Banks, their cornerback from Maryland. I think this is probably a solid pick. I think it was a solid pick. I probably would have went a different direction, but I like the pick for the Giants. I think they got good value here. I really like Banks at the corner. I think he's one of the better ones in this draft. There's a lot of depth at corner in this draft. A lot of good players, filling a lot of important positions. And so I'll give it a solid. I'll give it a solid B plus. I think it was a good pick. Could have been better, but I think it was good. Number 25, the Buffalo Bills took tight end from Utah. Sorry, I was struggling there. That was kind of funny. But anyways, they took the tight end from Utah, Dalton Kincaid. It was a pretty good pick. I probably would have went with Michael Mayer. I think that would have been this offense. It just would have made this offense extremely scary. It would have made them good at every level. Especially it probably would have fit better in the cold weather. Needing a bigger guy, that probably would have been better. But I like Dalton Kincaid. I think he's a solid player. He'll be good. He'll be good around with Josh Allen throwing him the ball next to Dalton Kincaid. Dawson Knox, the other tight end from Buffalo. I'll give it a B plus. I'll give it a B plus here. I like the pick, but I think it could have been probably slightly better. But it was a solid pick. I liked it. Number 26, the Dallas Cowboys took Mazi Smith, defensive tackle from Michigan. It was a reach for me, for sure. I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of reaches in this first round. He's a good player. I'd probably be a little bit easier on the Cowboys than other people would be. I'd give it a C. I see a lot of people giving him low Ds, maybe even the occasional F. I thought it was all right, but it could have been a lot better at number 26. At number 27, the Jacksonville Jaguars took offensive tackle Anton Harrison from Oklahoma. I'll give this one a solid A-. They're doing well to protect young Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I like what they're doing, making sure that he's being blocked well, giving him a nice offensive tackle to replace a guy they lost last year, who was their starting offensive tackle, or one of their starting offensive tackles. And I think it was a good pick. He's probably the best offensive tackle left on the board, and so they made sure that they got him, and so I got to give their props. Number 28, the Bengals took Myles Murphy, the edge from Clemson. I'll give it another A-. He was a good pick. I think that the Bengals need some more depth on defensive line. They need a little bit more pass rush if they want to contend for a Super Bowl. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I say that they're definitely a Tier 2 team. Maybe 3. I don't know. We'll see. But they're definitely going to be a very good team. I think they'll be a playoff team. And he should do pretty well in Cincinnati. So it's a good pick. At number 29, the Saints took Brian Brzee, the defensive tackle from Clemson. Back-to-back Clemson players from the defensive line going off the board. I like the pick. I definitely liked it. The Saints needed some more on the defensive line. Maybe they have a really good defense, but you can't hurt to have depth there on the defensive line. Guys get hurt later in the year, so I can't hate the pick. It's a B. I think that they probably could have went a better, more positional route, but I like it. I think that he fits pretty well with what the Saints need. And number 30, the Eagles got Nolan Smith. This is an A. Another Georgia player going to the Eagles, and there was a lot more after this.
there was a lot of Eagles players that just went flying off the boards. I give it it's an A. It's a good pick. Best player available at a position that they needed some more depth at. You can never have enough depth on the defensive line, and I don't know. He may also play offensive outside linebacker. I'm not sure. He's kind of a tweener in that aspect, but he's a good player, and it's a really good pick. I give it an A. And number 31, the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl winning champions, is somebody that I do not think I will pronounce his name correct. I'm going to go with this. Felix Anudike Uzomah. Tell me if I did that right. Please let me know in the comments. I have no idea. I hope I got it right. I'm not sure. So let me know. I haven't heard much about him. But I do know he's a good player. At the position where they lost Frank Clark, an edge rusher, who they cut because of cap space. He was getting paid a lot more than he was worth. Thought it was a smart move to cut him. There was probably better players available, but he's a good player, so I had to give it a solid B. It could have been a little bit better, but it was solid. I think it was worthy of a B.